Laurel Hubbard is a New Zealand transgender weightlifter. She's selected to compete at the 2020 Summer Olympics. It's actually the 2021, but you know what I'm talking about. And she's going to be the first openly transgender athlete to compete at the Olympic Games. It's caused quite a bit of controversy, to be honest, but here's my take on it. Before we start, I want to say that this isn't a personal attack on Laurel or the transgender community. I'm 100% pro-choice. I believe you can be anyone you want to be in this world. I applaud Laurel for doing what's right for her, and anyone else that chooses to be anything in this life, go for it. I'm 100% not transphobic before anyone suggests I am. But it's fairly clear to me, and to a lot of other people, that this situation puts Laurel at a distinct advantage over other biological females. Let's give a little context to the situation before her transition. Laurel set junior records back in New Zealand in 1988 competing as a man. Her snatch was 135 kilos and her clean and jerk 170. Those are not insignificant numbers. She was an extremely powerful athlete before she made a transition aged 35 years old. The infrastructure that Laurel built by going through puberty as a man is biologically far superior. Things like bone mineral density, muscular development and androgenic signalling. Not to mention the size and shape of the pelvis, the hands, the feet, the length of the limbs. Now let's look at the important one, testosterone. On average, a man produces about 10 times more testosterone than the average woman does on a daily basis. The IOC have strict guidelines on the amount of testosterone allowed. I'm going to keep this quite basic so you understand it. They mention 10 nanomoles per litre. Now it doesn't seem that much, 10 seems quite a small number. When you extrapolate that into the real world, we can see the reality of what that actually means. It still equates to about 5 times the amount that the average woman would produce. It's like a male producing very low levels of testosterone. Low for a man, but still extremely high for a woman. Now the IOC don't even mention SHBG. SHBG is sex hormone binding globulin. Sounds a bit of a mouthful, doesn't it? Let's call it SHBG. Now women have a much higher level of SHBG. Men have a lot lower levels of SHB, but what does that actually mean? Well, SHBG equates to the amount of free testosterone available in the body. If your SHBG levels are low, this equates to more free testosterone available in the body. This is a massive advantage. SHBG isn't even in the conversation for some reason. You can then look at the size of the heart, the lung capacity, and actually the height of the individual. All factors that will not have been affected by testosterone suppression and maybe the use of exogenous estrogen. It's clear to many people that Laurel has a distinct advantage. Imagine how you would feel as a biological female missing out on the place to compete at the Olympic Games or even a place on the podium. I'm all for fair competition, I'm all for competing, but it's got to be fair. Things have got to be on a level playing field. Once again, this has got nothing to do with anyone being transgendered, it's just about what's fair. It's simply due to the competition. Well, that's my take on it, but what do you think? Should transgender athletes be allowed to compete this way? Do you think they need their own competition entirely? I'd love to know your thoughts. Personally, I do feel sorry for the situation that Laurel finds herself in. She's kind of stuck in this middle category. Too strong an advantage to be competing with biological females, but now definitely disadvantaged in competing with biological males. I don't know the answer to this. I'd love to know your thoughts. Until next time.